Bienvenidos a ¿Qué Pasa Polk? Yo soy Anita Rivera y hoy tenemos un programa diseñado especialmente para todos ustedes que están pensando en abrir su negocio o expandir en su negocio. Hay muchas personas que cuando van a empezar un negocio lamentablemente no se adiestran bien y hacen, como dice en Spanglish, un mistake. Y ese mistake pues le va a costar mucho en esa carterita. Pues hoy tenemos con nosotros dos personas que son tremendas en lo que tienen que ver en adiestrar y en darle información en cómo hacer las cosas correctas desde el principio. Así que con nosotros ellos se van a introducir y nos van a empezar con nuestro foro. Bienvenidos, doctor Pérez. Dígame dónde es usted.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Perez. I representing Central Florida SCORE.
Okay, great. And how long have you been with SCORE?
I've been with SCORE since October of 2015, so a few months now.
Okay, great. And what do you do besides SCORE?
I am a college professor. I teach
Oh.
business courses, specifically finance and leadership.
Awesome. Any other type of activities that you do besides being the
Well, I'm
professor?
actively involved in the community. I serve on several committees. I'm part of the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Polk County.
Okay.
And involved very actively with the SCORE. I'm involved with the Lakeland's Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council and
Awesome.
other functions as well. In addition to teaching, I also design and develop courses.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for coming and being here with us today. And you, young lady.
Hello, my name is Decaminada. I am the business manager for Polk County Board of County Commissioners, Community and Small Business Assistance. I've been with Polk County for 10 years. I have been with the small business and community side of Polk County Board of County Commissioners for the last 6 years. And we provide assistance to communities in Polk County, small businesses. We partner with SCORE, we partner with Small Business Development Center, we partner with Career Source Polk, Economic Development, anything that has to do with assisting small businesses or the communities in Polk County, that's who our partners are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for being here with us today because this is a very important show for us. Something that we've been thinking about developing because we get a lot of calls and I get a lot of people sending me emails wanting to know how to start a business. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to sit down at a kitchen table with your family and says, well, you know, let's start a business. You know how to do this and you know how to do this, so where do we get started? But sometimes those dreams and those plans remain on that kitchen table because they're just not knowing where to go to get the actual great information to get them started. Alrighty then. Bueno, quiero darle las gracias también a nuestros invitados aquí con que nos van a traer tremenda información hoy. Y también, además de ellos, tenemos a una audiencia de profesionales que también que son personas que son miembros y que tienen sus propios negocios y que están pensando en abrir un negocio. Así que no se nos vayan, que vamos a regresar con nuestro panel.
Reciba su diploma de GED. No quiero oír, Danny, no lo puedo hacer. Quiero oír, Danny, lo voy a hacer. Jamie, este hombre dice que soy muy intenso. Quiere hablar con alguien más sensitivo.
Seguro, Danny, no problema. Edge Martínez en la línea. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Cualquier motivación que necesite, tenemos charlas para levantarle la moral. Escuche palabras estimulantes y encuentre clases gratis en yourged.org.
Hola y bienvenidos a ¿Qué Pasa Polk? Yo soy Anita Rivera otra vez y como les había prometido tenemos un panel con tremenda ayuda hoy, pero también a nuestra audiencia que está aquí con nosotros en vivo, que nos van a preguntar ciertas cosas que ellos están pensando en lo que cualquier persona pues preguntan en sus áreas cuando van a poner un negocio. Pero vamos a preguntar las cosas en inglés, pero de momento nos vamos a poner con un poquito de Spanglish, tú sabes, porque esto tiene este sabor de Miami y de Nueva York y Puerto Rico y tiene todas esas cosas. So vamos a hacer un flip-flop, así que no se turben. Así que vamos a ir con nuestra primera pregunta y la pregunta es de Allison Foley.
Good afternoon. My name is Allison Foley Rothrock. I'm the owner of a small law firm called Foley Immigration Law and also the executive director of a nonprofit called the Red Tent Initiative. My question for the panel is, what's happening in Polk County that will pave the way for us small businesses and help us grow?
Well, in terms of how Polk County is helping small businesses grow from a county perspective, I would say our strength is in our partnerships throughout the community and how focused the community is on small businesses right now. I think that within the last 4 years, actually, there's been a increase in services available to small businesses. I think people are starting to recognize that capital investment for small businesses is a little difficult right now. So there are some initiatives taking place to help fund smaller businesses. And I know funding is always usually the number one question. That's why I went right to funding. And it seems that in the past, it's always been for larger businesses. So I think that there's starting to be a shift in that perspective that small businesses need some funding as well. So I would say, first off, that's probably the number one thing that you're going to see, especially in the next coming months, of some things that are in the works right now. The second thing I would say is the programs for entrepreneurs that are either in not just starting out in terms of the sitting around the kitchen table, but have been in business for maybe 9 months or in their second year or in a growth stage. There's a lot of businesses out there or community development organizations that are out there geared towards those businesses specifically. Catapult would be one of them. I would say that some of the smaller communities forming economic development councils, so they see the need in their community to make the community attractive to small business owners. So I think that the days of small business owners just trying to figure out where to go and what to do and kind of, bumping around in the dark has changed. Now I think that the smaller communities and even the larger communities are starting to look for those small businesses and say, come here, come here. You see a lot of home-based businesses starting to grow into brick and mortars, and the brick and mortars are making it easier for those small businesses to come rather than some of the issues that people have always had in the past with landlords and issues like that. So I think from a community perspective that things are definitely changing.
Next up is we have Leah of Got Candy, and she has a question for us as well.
Hello, my name is Lee Williams, owner of Got Candy, and my question to the panel is, tax incentives are available for large businesses. What are incentives for small businesses? If none are available, could there be some potentially put together? And obviously, it's proven that small business is what fuels the economy.
In my job focus with the county, I help a lot of businesses with incentives. And part of what the county focuses on when it comes to incentives, just to give you some background to understand how incentives work, is it's mainly based on job growth. So you'll see a large business come in and they're going to create a large number of jobs at a certain salary or wage. The reason why that's important to the county is because those people then can go into the community and spend money at Got Candy and go shopping, and they're not held to a poverty level type of position. So the county really encourages the incentives from that perspective. Now, when it comes to incentives, it is harder to say, let's incentivize a business that's growing 1 or 2 people. But as you know, during the recession, small businesses kind of ruled the roost. That's what was growing. Medium-sized businesses were starting to grow. It wasn't those new businesses coming in. From that, similar to what I was talking about earlier, you're not going to see very many incentives. What you will see is funding streams in the form of community grants or in the form of small business loans with maybe a low rate or a negotiated repayment schedule. Not something that maybe a business would be bankable, maybe a non-business bankable. Could go and do what that was just recently announced today. There's a Shark Tank that they're going to be doing in Lakeland. So there's a lot of incentives, I think, for businesses, but in the traditional sense of incentives from what the county has, most of those incentives are tied to an average wage, and they're tied to job growth, because that's really how we're trying, to encourage Polk County to grow.
Next question is Maggie.
Yes, how you doing? You mentioned community grants, and I was wondering, are there any grants for small businesses that will help pay for advertisement I know that we want to get our business up and going, and promotions are a big part of that. Just want to know if there's anything out there that's going to help towards that.
In terms of grants, grants are typically tied to nonprofits more often than not. There are some matching grants that you can get through communities, like United Way will do, they used to have a matching grant. So if you put in $50 a month, they'd put in $50 a month. Those types of grants, if you look for them, are available. Specifically, a grant that's going to fund advertising in a for-profit business, that just really does not exist in that shape and form. Now, if you were to have a nonprofit, there are some grants available for nonprofits that you can research. What I would recommend, if you want to go down the route of looking for a grant, if you are a nonprofit tied to a nonprofit, or even looking for a matching grant from a community partner, I would hire a grant writer, or I would become well versed and do some studying on grant research and learn how to look for the grants yourself. There's software out there you can purchase. It's typically very expensive, as software is, that will do kind of a internet search for grants, and then you can find a grant maybe that matches yours. The most important thing to remember about grants, it's not done when you write the grant. You then have to make sure you are keeping up with the grant and reporting back to the grant how you spent the money. And you cannot pay for a grant writer typically with the funds that come from the grant. So grants can get a little dicey if you don't know what you're doing. You can end up losing the grant, which you don't want to waste a lot of time into getting a grant and then lose it because you didn't have the proper accounting steps in place. So to answer your question, no. What I would suggest, advertising is one of the easiest ways that a business grows. And during the recession, that was the #1 thing that small businesses cut, was advertising, because they didn't see the value in it. And then when their business tanked, then they suddenly saw the value in advertising. If you don't have money to pay for advertising, the very best advertising for your business is your face, or someone who represents your business, someone that gets out into the community, that you talk to, that you create those relationships. I can't stress how important that is in Polk County, especially. We're a small community, and everybody that knows everybody here. So getting out to those events, and even if you think, well, I'm in air conditioning, what could I possibly gain from someone that has a cake business? Well, you never know. You never know if that person's husband's a contractor and he might use you for something someday. So there's a lot of ways to network that you might not see the value in. But rather than spending your time looking for a grant, I would spend your time in the community, getting to know the community better.
Also, on that, a lot of the people that join our chamber, we always are, we're a large community on Facebook and social media right now. Facebook is free, but of course, if you want to add and have an ad in, then you can build on that if you can do that. As well, referrals. Referrals are, I'm in the business right now of working for a private school, and my business is that I have to sign up students. That's my business. But we don't advertise. So what do? Word of mouth and referrals. Wherever I go, if I'm in a drive-through and I see a young lady that I know that I've seen her there for 3 years, and I'm wondering, is she okay with making $7, $8 an hour? I take out my card and it says, give me a call when you want to change your life. And she'll show up with a friend. So now I have 2 students. So it's all, how do you do that? If you want to develop a newsletter, MailChimp will allow you up to 2,000 emails, addresses for you to develop your own type of marketing online. So there's a lot of other things that you can also explore as well. But that was a great question. Thank you. Next question. All righty then. Number 4. And I believe that is Sylvia.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Perez. And my question to the panel is, what exactly does SCORE assist with?
Well, SCORE is basically a nonprofit organization. We are supported by the Small Business Administration. We've been in existence for over 50 years. We have over 11,000 members, 300 chapters. SCORE assists individuals who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs and we provide education and training. We also have volunteers, fellow entrepreneurs in the community that are willing to mentor you, and they mentor you through the life of your business. And it's just not, SCORE is just not limited to startups. We also work with existing businesses that are looking to increase, their business and expand. So we offer those type of services in addition to, we offer, like I mentioned, training. You could do webinars. There is online courses that are available to you 24/7. And because SCORE is so large and we have so many volunteers that is part of SCORE, many of the services are either free or at nominal cost. So if you are interested in SCORE and are looking into starting your own business, I encourage you to reach out to SCORE. You could reach out to the Small Business Assistance Center. There's numerous resources out there that are available to people that are interested in becoming and starting a business of their own. But I strongly encourage you, because there's a wealth of information and knowledge available to you. So, and there's no need for you to do it and go at it alone.
Great. I recommend SCORE highly, highly. Oh yes. Thank you. That was very good. That was very good. Now on SCORE, you said for existing businesses, people who are in. What kind of student would that be? Would that be someone who's struggling with their business or are wanting to learn new things on how they can expand or do something or complement another product with what they already have as their main product?
Well, it really depends. There could be a business that is struggling, is looking to maybe gain additional market share. They may need help with putting together a marketing plan, target another demographic group. And we have specific mentors within SCORE, especially the Central Florida SCORE chapter, that will work with you and will help you develop that plan. You're not in business alone. You're working with this person, and you can stay with this individual person through the life of your business. And I encourage you, if any time, any life cycle that you're in business, if you need help, if you're thinking, if you have ideas and you want to bounce it off of someone to check the feasibility of it, come on down, make an appointment. You could, go online and, make an appointment online, give us a call, and sit down with one of the members, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
Great, great, wonderful. Bueno, tremenda información hasta ahora, así que no se nos vayan, que vamos a regresar después de este anuncio.
Por las cosas que nos pueden mantener seguros, las que usamos todo el tiempo sin pensarlo, las que aguardan en silencio a salvarnos la vida, y ahora las que llevamos con nosotros a donde vayamos. Muchos dispositivos móviles ahora ofrecen alertas inalámbricas de emergencia, información en tiempo real de fuentes locales en las que confías. Con su sonido y vibración particular, estarás al tanto donde quiera que estés.
Bienvenidos otra vez a nuestro, como dicen, nuestro show especial para las personas que quieren montar un negocio o que ya tienen un negocio pero necesitan esa ayuda extra. Así que ahorita ustedes vieron que teníamos el panel cogiendo preguntas y nuestra audiencia también estaba preguntando tremendas preguntas porque están muy buenas. Ahora yo voy a preguntar una, claro, va a ser en inglés. Y mi pregunta es, my question is, how many businesses open and close each year, and why is that? Why are so many opening and closing?
Many businesses open and close for various reasons. Many times it's not having a well-developed business plan and targeting their particular market can be due to lack of funds. It can be the business environment or maybe the demographic that they're choosing to target. But most of the time it comes down to a well-developed strategy as far as a business plan for, bringing in the customers that they need in order to generate the revenues that they can to maintain sustainability for their company.
Would you say that some of the, I guess the little components to things that happen, such as that could be location, product mix, if they have the right personnel to even work in their business. I mean, what do you usually see as something that's consistent when they're closing? I mean, because I have a lot of members that have opened, and all of a sudden it's like 1 or 2 years later, they close, and they can't even fathom why they're closing. I can, because I'm the one standing outside looking at what's happening with them.
Well, from what I've seen, from my experience, it really comes down to the market that you're in, and knowing who you are serving. You know, you have to have an understanding of the people that you're, providing the services or products to. If you don't have that market identified and defined, and have what's called a good action plan to reach out to that particular market, then you're going to have difficulty attracting them. And that's what I've seen is mainly, and I go back to the business plan and developing a strategy, because that's, when it comes down to it, that's where I see, from my experience, when I see businesses, is they haven't really identified what it is that they know pretty much what they do, but who that market is that they're trying to serve.
Okay, great. Anything, Don?
No, I completely agree with what you said. That is, lack of preparation is typically the biggest. I have a lot of people that have money going into it, and then they either overspend or they don't take everything into account. There's very few outside factors that are completely a surprise that will close a business. It's typically just planning and execution.
So that's remember that, planning and execution. That's the key word right there. All right, well, thank you. Question number 6.
Hi, my name is Maya Benitez. I'm the owner of Engineering for Kids. And my question for the panel is, what options are available for financing a business?
Depending on if you're just starting out or you are looking to expand your business, there's a couple different ways. Typically, first-time business owners or business owners that are getting ready to start, they tend to be pretty anxious. Maybe have not saved up the amount of money that they are supposed to start the business, or maybe they don't even know how much. So typically, first-time business owners, the best way to start it is typically through your own capital investment with your own money. Many small businesses just starting out are going to find that they are not bankable. A lot of that is owed to the recession and banks not really wanting to take a risk. However, you can get a line of credit, you can do credit cards. There's different ways you can take out your loan against your 401k. Not that I recommend that, but there are ways to fund your business that aren't going to the bank. If you have been in business for a little while, and we talked about this a little bit, you typically, if you have been successful and you can show that you've been making a profit, you can go to the bank if you're looking to expand, or you want to add maybe a different product or service, or move or something like that, or acquire land or different equipment for your business. The bank will start to look at you then after about closer to 2 years, but you will have to show that you've been making a profit. So in terms of financing for small businesses, starting out, you want to basically rely on your own capital investment and plan well and plan enough money to make sure that you have at least 15 to 20% more than you anticipate. And then once you get to that point where you've been up and running for a little while, then you can go to the bank, and they would more than likely, if you are in good standing with your bank. The other side of that too, if you are going to go to the bank that you have a relationship with. Don't shop banks. Your bank that knows you, that sees how much you deposit and spend, and that every week, especially if you have a business account and a personal account with them, or just a business account, that bank is going to be more willing to loan you money than a bank that you just cold call and just kind of go around.
I have a question for the panel on the financing. I know that a lot of the small businesses are always asking the chamber questions about SBA loans. What banks in the county do offer SBA loans? Do we know of any of those?
Sure. Well, any bank can process an SBA loan for the most part if they have the back side of it, but the SBA is just an underwriter for the loan. You still have to go through the bank to get the loan. The SBA just basically guarantees the loan. So the bank will, say if they want to lend you $10,000, the SBA will come in, I don't know what percentage they're at right now, 70, 75% of the loan value. And they will guarantee the loan for that much. And then the bank is able to loan you the money knowing that if you were to default on it, the SBA would come in and pay that 75%. So an SBA loan is not a loan from the SBA. There is no SBA bank. Where a lot of people think, where's the SBA bank? There is no SBA bank. Now, there are certain banks that are able to process larger or 7A loans or 504 loans, and they have the back office to process all of that paperwork. But essentially, you can go through the SBA for your loan through the bank and choose your bank, and then process your business plan and everything through the SBA, and then they can help you with that. But there is not a bank that is specifically an SBA loan. So an SBA loan is essentially a guarantee on a bank loan.
So are banks friendly enough to accept the...
For the SBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you, the difference between, it's kind of like getting your home loan versus an FHA. If you're going to get your first home loan and you qualify for the FHA, for an FHA loan, but it's more a higher percentage, and you can get a loan without the FHA, you're going to go get a loan without the higher percentage and the stipulations on what you can spend the money on and what you can't. So if you have the good credit and you are able to get a loan without having the SBA guarantee that loan for you, then go for the loan without the SBA part of it. But the SBA typically comes in when business owners have a lower credit score. Not so much the capital side of it, the capital investment side, but the lower credit score. Medical issues, things like that bring medical or bring your credit score down, typically will affect a business owner, and then they say, well, I can't get a loan because it's 600. Now the SBA requires, I think, like a 630, around that to 700, whereas a typical bank is like 720 and higher, or 750 and higher. Don't quote me on those numbers. But so the SBA will look at someone with a lower credit score. Okay. If you want to go into the and you say, I want a $10 million loan, but I have no money to put down, SBA is not going to help you at that point. So,
okay.
If someone comes into me and they say, how much do I need to save to start my small business? I tell them to write down everything they spend, personal and in your small business. Because your personal life, if you're going to start a small business, is going to be affected by your business life. So if you go every day to Starbucks and get a latte, you might want to have a line item for Starbucks lattes. Because if those add up at the end of the week or at the end of the month and you're spending $400 on that, then that's probably something you want to work into your budget. So typically what I will tell a business owner, I can't tell you, save $10,000 and you'll be golden, but I say make 2 lists. Make a list every day for the next month of what you spend money on. Do you buy lottery tickets? Do you go out to eat 3 times a week? Do you go out to eat during lunch? And you think, well, that'll be a write-off. Well, you still have to pay for it, even if it's a write-off. And keep track of everything that you spend personally. Because when you start making money in your business, you're going to have to take a draw out of that to pay for everything you're doing personally. So sometimes cutting back on the personal expenses all of a sudden creates a little bit more money for the business expenses. So that is usually what I will recommend to someone is take really good notes about what you spend personally. And I think you'll be surprised how much you do spend on things that you don't even realize. And then you can look at what you can cut. And then over on this other side, start making a budget a month, 6 months before you start your business, because you're going to be laying in bed at night and you're going to say, I really like cross pens. We're going to have cross pens. Well, that's, so stuff like that, things that you don't even think about. You don't think about that you have to buy paper. You think of all the big stuff. I have to buy machinery and I have to buy a table and I have to buy chairs, and you don't think, well, I need to buy paper clips and I need to buy, all the things that you kind of take for granted. And if you're working now, that you just go to the cabinet and open up the cabinet and pull out. Well, somebody paid for that. So those are the things that you want to start thinking of. And another good point of that is if you are working for someone currently and you're thinking about starting your own business, take inventory of everything that business owner is paying for. And then you'll start to see where that adds up as well. So that's the best way to create a budget. There is no hard and fast number. It really depends on home-based business. Are you an internet business? Are you it varies for anyone, but that's how I
Thank
create
you.
a
That's
budget.
very good. That's very good. Because I know that we spend a lot of money when it comes to paper where I work at. I just see reams and reams and reams of the stuff, and I'm like, So now I start recycling when I'm doing my start reports. I say, okay, this is last week's. Okay, so I'm going to print out a new report. So let me just use the same one.
Everybody becomes a conservationist when they start their own business.
Yeah.
Everyone loves trees. No one's killing the rainforest when you start your own business suddenly. You see a pen, you're at a hotel, you're like, yep, I'll take that.
So our next question was from Umberto, and it had to do with?
Good afternoon. My name is Umberto, owner of Glowpix Media Photography. My question is, what are the effective tax rates for small businesses?
As far as the effective tax rates for businesses, you would really have to check with your local tax office. It varies from county to county throughout the whole state. What I would suggest is securing the services or contacting a good qualified CPA to answer those type of questions.
Because it varies from business to business.
Yeah,
I mean,
it varies
he's in
from business to
photography
business.
versus someone who's an optometrist or something.
Correct.
Okay.
What his tax rate may be somewhat different than somebody that's involved in another industry or another profession, and then it varies from county to county throughout the whole state.
And that, I guess that can also go play in with employee base also, if you're going to...
Yeah, the number of employees have a factor.
Employees, or if you're going to pay them off as a, I guess, a contractor, because there's different things. So yeah, definitely a CPA, correct?
Yeah, definitely I would contact a CPA regarding any tax type of issues of that nature.
Awesome. Very good question, because I don't know anything about taxes. I know that they're due soon. All righty then. So we're coming down to our last two questions. This one was a Facebook question, which was very interesting, but I'm going to ask him because he wasn't sure if he should ask it, and I believe it was Frank. Yes, your question, sir.
Hello, my name is Frank Perez. I'm the owner of Perez Martial Arts. My question is, how should I register my small business as an LLC incorporated, non-for-profit, and what is a DBA and how does it operate?
Really depends on you, your business structure. But when it comes to forming a LLC or sole proprietorship, my advice to you is to contact a qualified attorney, someone who is a specialist with business law that'll help you answer those type of questions. DBA is just an acronym for doing business as, and that's something that you would have to complete. You could, get registered through your local county tax office. You could also register to the state, the Secretary of State's office. But those are questions that are probably more accurately and properly answered by an attorney. So I encourage you, if you're thinking of forming an LLC or a corporation or partnership, whatever type, or nonprofit, to seek the advice of an attorney.
Anything?
Just to piggyback on that, and this doesn't really have as much to do with if you're going to be a sole proprietor, LLC, or corporation. When you do, and I get this every year around December, people that have started their businesses for the first time, whether it be as a sole proprietor or LLC or corporation, they'll start getting these notices in the mail that says they owe an additional $176. You owe $76, or we're going, your fictitious name is going to be released. Keep in mind that anything that comes to you that comes from the state of Florida, or from the county, or from your city, is going to be registered with that seal or the name of the city. It'll be documentation with that city's logo and information on it. Looking for the fine print, understand that there are people out there that are deceitful and are trying to get money out of small business owners that are scared because they don't want to come out of compliance. One of the reasons that a lot of business owners go either in debt or go out of business is because they forget to pay taxes. That's why it is so important to hire an accountant or a CPA before you even start your business. You get behind in payroll taxes, a couple $1,000s, in 2 quarters, and all of a sudden you're paying off the IRS for the next 3 years. So it is very important to hire someone on the onset of your business and work that into your overall budget. But just be cognizant, if you do start a business and you start getting information, when you register with sunbiz.org, there's another website with a different ending that's not org, that is the exact same thing, and it looks very similar to that website, but they charge you an extra $200 for filing your paperwork. For the most part, once you decide what you want to be, it's pretty simple to get your paperwork done. You go online, you say if you want to be an LLC, you choose LLC, you fill it out, you pay, and you're done. You get a receipt, you get a certificate of status. Then come December, you start getting a lot of stuff. I get texts with pictures. Is this real? What is this? What is this? Pay attention to who you're getting your mail from. And don't send a check or any money until you check with that local office to see if they sent that out.
Definitely, definitely. And we're coming down to our last question, and it is from April.
Hi, yes, my name is April Almeida. I'm the owner of Workplace Benefit Solutions, and my question is, how important is having a web page, and is there any assistance to designing a web page and optimizing the traffic to it?
I feel personally, and this is my personal opinion, a well-designed web page I think speaks volumes to your dedication to your business. I don't think there's anything wrong with Facebook. We have a Facebook page for our department. So from that standpoint, I think Facebook is a great way to get information to people on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. However, there is something invaluable about a website because it holds more content. It lays things out a little easier. It allows the prospective client or customer to do a little bit more research on your business. So when it comes to how much money you should spend on a website, you can spend up to $8,000, $10,000 on a website. There are platforms available that you can create your own website and it can look professional. You don't have as many pages and it might not look as fancy, but you can still have a very professional website that someone will go back to. And I feel that a website speaks volumes because I've seen both sides of it. I believe the small business development centers have a website specialist that will look at your website and look at the website optimization. When it comes to SEO, search engine optimization, that's one of the hardest things for business owners to kind of grasp how to do that. And it's kind of better left to the professionals unless you have a background in SEO. If you can keep up with SEO and you can post your pages and make sure there's cross-referencing and everything on your page, then great. But when you type in the name of your business in Google and it doesn't show up until the 4th page, no one's going to find you. You want it to, come up the first couple pages. You can pay Google to have it come up on the first couple pages as well. But yes, I think websites are important, and I don't know, does SCORE have volunteers that?
Yes, SCORE does have volunteers that can help you with providing the information to help you design a website of your own. And I just wanted to add that it's important to have a web page. The web page is in essence an extension of your business. So you want to do as much as you can to get your presence out to your customers that are going to be looking for the type of products and services that you're providing. But SCORE offers services through some of the chambers in Polk County, and in fact in many of the chambers that we partner with. We have meetings and we have training sessions specifically designed to discuss social media and optimization, how to go about optimization. So there's specialists out there, other entrepreneurs that specialize in social media that are available to you that you could access to help you in designing or maybe taking a closer look at your website to see how you could kind of maybe look and feel, because it becomes a part of your business and who you are. And that is what is very important, to make sure that it is something that will represent you properly, fairly, honestly, and legally.
And I would add to that, you can probably answer your own question without asking us. What do you think of websites when you need to go find something online? How important is to you that you go to a website or going to Facebook? How do you feel when you go to one website versus another. I think a lot of time as entrepreneurs, we forget that we're customers too. We kind of put ourselves in this silo, and what you don't realize is when you see a commercial come on TV and you're crying and you're going, why am I crying at this commercial? It's because this commercial has done such an awesome job at their advertising and getting an emotion out of you. Anything that has to do with advertising has to do with connecting to an emotion. The colors that you choose for your business, the way that your logo looks, the first thing that you see when you pop up, does it evoke some kind of a
emotion,
nostalgic response in your head, and you go, oh, I want to go there because when I was a kid, I loved that. So, you know, look at all the questions that people have, especially with marketing. Start paying really close attention to the TV, to the newspaper ads, if you still get magazines, to what the magazines look like, to the colors that people use. And start to, you know, if it's not patented and it's not copyrighted, don't reinvent the wheel. You know, try to use some of these tactics for your own business, and it's kind of a shortcut to success.
Yeah, keep in mind that many people, one of the first places they go to research information is the internet. The internet is ubiquitous. So, you know, it's a tool, it's a wonderful resource. So my, you know, recommendation is avail yourself of those type of tools.
I think that's an awesome thing, because I remember when I first started the chamber, I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the funding. I basically just took the advice from the oldest of the chamber owners down in South Florida. He says, oh, you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. And I'm like, but I don't know the first thing. I didn't even have Facebook. I says, okay. So he says, go to this. So I signed up with, I think it was web.com, and I looked at the different, you know, templates they had, and I says, oh, and I can put in music, I could put in photos. And then I started developing it myself, and then we evolved. And then at that time, when Humberto Hernandez was our VP, I says, we need to now move on to the next stage and develop the web page so that it looks like it represents what we have evolved to. So it was, again, like you say, it had that branding, because branding is extremely important. I mean, right now, everyone, and I thank my producers, everyone sees this logo on Facebook, and they already know that it is a show that is Que Pasa Polk. So it's the branding, how you get the simplest icon, the clean. So again, like you said, there's professionals in SCORE that can help our audience and the audience at home, everything. Thank you very much for coming here today. So please, let's give them a round of applause, because this is something that we need, and I'm sure that this show is going to allow us to get more and more involved in developing Polk County and its business environment. So if anyone here right now, sitting here with us today, and those sitting at home with their popcorn and maybe their dinner, how can they contact you, Dawn?
They can call us directly. You can reach us at 863-534-5915. You can email me at Decaminada at polk-county.net. And if you can spell my name correctly, it's Dawn, D-A-W-N, DECAMINADA at polk-county.net. But I would probably just call.
Awesome. How about you, Dr. Chow?
Okay, very easily. You could just go to score.org on the internet, and you could fill out a form. There's contact information. Each one of us has, you know, different contact information that is assigned to us. You could personally contact me at 863-866-1108. I'll be more than happy to help you. My advice to you, or anyone that's interested into going into business, is there is a phenomenal amount of resources out there available to you. There's no need to do it alone. There's no need to spend, you know, the hundreds of dollars that you could end up spending in, you know, in advisors and stuff. Much of the information is either free or nominal at best. You know, we work with Dawn's organization, we work with SBA, SBDC, you know, other chambers, and there's really today there's no excuse not to know or have the information, especially when it's so readily available to you and easily accessible, and most of it online. So it's very, very convenient.
Great, great. So with that said, Please join us April 21st. We'll be having our next show, but you'll be seeing this show, obviously, on Que Pasa and PGTV and channel 644, and that'll be on Thursdays and Saturdays, and then of course we'll have it uploaded up to YouTube so that you can rewatch it and get some great information. But if you also want to contact us and you can't get a hold of these two lovely people, visit our webpage and visit our fan page, Que Pasa Polk, on Facebook. And eso ha sido todo por hoy, así que Dios me los cuide y nos vemos en la próxima, Abril 21. Chao.